You know, one of my tenets of enjoying myself here on the internet is treat others as you would love to be treated yourself. And so what I've done and what I've done for years is I'm not going to go to another person's Facebook page and then project my problems onto their page or try to believe that I can mind read and then take someone's post and again project into it. What I choose to do on my Facebook page is to stay on my Facebook page. And anything that I would say to you in a conversation, I would say to your face. So the people who don't know this, who then either are on the Facebook page, would like to be part of it, and then come over out of nowhere and are talking crap or name calling or saying that people are unintelligent. And it's so strange because that's not how I exist on my internet. And so the stink, the stain of the way they exist on their internet becomes very present. And then I just block you because I don't need you on my internet. It's that simple. This is a fun place to hang out. This is a fun place to share information. Okay, especially with all the stuff burning down around us. And I understand why people could be mad. I understand the amount of anger that you could throw into a situation because it's great for the algorithm, and the algorithm loves that combativeness. And when they see that amount of beef, that amount of anger and vitriol, then that's a reason to move your page further up the algorithm so you could have more eyes on to your argument. So for those of us in Let's Have Fun on Facebook land, well, it gives us a very, very pleasant space where maybe once or twice a week, I have to block someone who doesn't understand the very gist of the game here on the John Tole and Real John Tole Facebook page. Let's go back. Who had such a phenomenal when Rasputin, who owns Twitter, and Zuckerberg's Lizard were on their latest Let's Answer Questions and Get Yelled At by Ted Cruz and his weirdo buddies. I believe Holly asked Zuckerberg a specific question about the Centra platform. And the Centra platform is Facebook's algorithmic knowledge of not only how you interact on your Facebook page, but then where you go after you leave Facebook and go to another part of the internet that has nothing to do with Facebook. Now, if that internet place that you go to has a Facebook button, well, guess what? Facebook is now following you throughout the internet to platforms that Facebook does not even have access to. So then you would know that as a Facebook user, the entirety of your online experience, be it watching this video, jerking it on Pornhub, yelling at people on Twitter, watching 9 hours of Joe Rogan in a row on YouTube, it's all being cataloged and it's all known because they have you down to your very breath and your data point. And if Facebook has that information, then more than likely the greatest single political information operation, Donald Trump's campaign, also has that information. And if they have that information, then they know who was going to vote for them, how you were going to vote for them, had your cell phone information while you stood in line to vote for him, your discussions before and after either voting or not voting for him, who was all talk and then didn't vote, who never said a word and then all of a sudden voted, because they have the ability to scrape all of that data, is how we see the confidence in the Trump campaign, because they know exactly how many votes they really got because they have the greatest information operation. You juxtapose that against what we saw yesterday in a 95-minute press conference. Mr. Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, smoke show raining down hellfire and brimstone on those ne'er-do-well journalists as they sat there and screeched. How hilarious was it when she said, no one believes you from the no one who watches the news believes in what you're saying. Where are you from? The person goes, CNN, and the whole room laughs. Well, folks, if that is not enough of an indication of what this really is. So you have that little piece of the sideshow. You have evidence, affidavit after affidavit, people swearing under penalty of perjury of law that they were witness to either the training on how to commit voter fraud, or they were the witness to voter fraud, or they were the witness to irregularities, or they were the witness to how the machines worked. And what is the only thing that people talked about? Rudy's streaking Grecian 45 hair formula going down the two sides of his face. I saw it. I called it out as soon as we were watching the press conference. That as soon as you saw him patting his brow, that it was like, oh, there's the picture. And then all of a sudden he started sweating down the side. I'm like, well, that's the picture. And that's the picture that they went with. And that's what the unfunny late night hosts went headlong with. And that's the only thing they're going to talk to. Saturday Night Live will get 6 minutes on it on Saturday for the people who choose to believe that's still funny. But what I know about this information campaign and what I know about the persuasion game, neurolinguistic programming, and how Trump continues to dominate the mastery of continuing to keep eyes on, is I'm guessing that Giuliani, who's never sweated profusely or rained hair dye down the side of his face in any appearance that I've ever seen, did so purposefully to keep eyes on. Because are you going to sit and watch a 95-minute press conference in the middle of the day? You wouldn't before, but look at the numbers that they had yesterday, through the roof. Those numbers were climbing in the same way that Fox numbers are falling across all platforms. Just like Donald Trump will misspell a word in a tweet, because the people who always laugh at him for misspelling words will continue to do that, which then elevates his tweet, which is then seen by more people. It's a purposeful mistake that is part of the persuasion game, which is more than likely, in my opinion, the same thing that Giuliani did with his Grecian 45 raining down the brown on the side of his face. I don't know, maybe he thought that maybe if my face turned a little brown, the people in the media were like, oh, is that Obama? Let's treat him nicely for once. Maybe that's what he was thinking. But for those of us who were just objectively watching, oh, well, that seems like a strong affidavit. That's a strong case. That's a case where we didn't get equal protection under the law. That's a case where we don't have any signature verification. That's the case where American votes under the George Bush administration were sent to be counted overseas in a system that can be hacked via cell phone. And are we going to get any of these answers? Who knows? Because all of this could just be to put maximum pressure on the lack of transferring power over to Joe Biden, which makes them panic, which makes them act erratic, which makes his speeding headlong into dementia perhaps go faster as he mush-headedly mumbles into a teleprompter if they fail to raise it up. Did you see that yesterday? There was a lot of things. Giuliani with the hair dye, stumbling, bumbling Biden, and the inability to read his prompter. At the end of the Mike Pence finishes his press conference and walks off. And if you could have seen the shrieking, it was like the bad of an end, the end of it was like the end of the Wizard of Oz when the witch burns down, and they were just shrieking questions. John Carl taking off his mouthpiece, throwing it on his chair. Why won't you listen to us? Because it doesn't matter. You don't matter. You no longer report the news. You only report your opinion moving forward, and then people stop watching. CNN's ratings plummeting. MSNBC plummeting. Fox News plummeting. It's so bad that they had to create a ruse of Sidney Powell not going on to Tucker so then he can talk about it, but then she's quick to go on Maria's show this morning and talk about why she didn't go on with Tucker. And what she did give Tucker was an affidavit that no one's seen and a witness who can corroborate better than she can because it was about mathematical algorithms. This is Fox about preserving themselves. And again, trust the process, because we're either going to get a court thing from SCOTUS We're going to get no justice at all. Biden is going to drop dead. One of those. God bless America.